The Jacob Media Sports Network, in partnership with 97.3 ESPN, brings you the Mays and Eytan Show.
Middays with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander.
Now, it's the Midday Show with Harry Mays and Eytan Shander on 97.3 ESPN Radio.
Wednesday, and we should be talking about a team here in the city that deserves a whole hell of a lot of attention that would not normally get attention unless there would be something bizarre, crazy, a firing, or just some 10, 15 game win or losing streak. But I won't, because I know that would be a way, I don't say it would get us or me in trouble or any like downward look from our program director, Mike Gill, but if I start talking about how the Flyers got their ass kicked last night.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. I didn't even know they were on.
So are we really just, and this is where I'm at, and bringing this up right now. They got their ass kicked 7-1 last night.
By their hated rival.
Yes.
Okay? It was like the Eagles getting bounced by the Cowboys a few weeks ago.
And the goalie's not looking great. The mascot, I guess, can't do everything.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've got a problem out there.
The mascot can't defend.
No,
their defense stinks.
I don't think the mascot can do anything close to defend. That's right. So, are we just turning? Is this it?
Listen.
Like, are we not going to? Listen, I'm okay with the answer being yes, Harry, but I need you, and maybe there are people out there that want to influence Harry if they don't like Harry's answer. But
okay.
I mean, is this really it? Like, is this it? What is it really going to take for us to start looking and paying attention to this team?
Well, they got to be a playoff team.
And they're not.
Right now, no, they're not. And they haven't been for quite some time. I mean, the Flyers, unfortunately, and people say that I hate hockey. I don't hate hockey.
Well, I'm Mr.
But
Hockey.
I hate when the local team sucks because then I just don't recognize hockey.
Yeah.
I will not spend 1 minute paying attention to that sport until the local team gives me a reason to. Okay. That's where I stand with hockey. And I want to know from people if they're with that or if I'm off base. I'm not a hockey nut. Okay, there's hockey nuts out there, and I get it. They're going to love hockey no matter what. Okay, they're like me with golf.
Yes.
Okay, and I respect that, but I'm not one of those people, and I think the majority of people are with me. In other words, we'll pay attention. I'm a bandwagon Flyers guy. Okay? That's just the way it is.
That's fine, but even bandwagoners, I don't feel like we'll talk much about anything that's bandwagon, right?
Well, I mean, we talk about it's kind of baseball's a little bit bandwagon, too, because the goddamn season's so long.
Yeah.
And when the team is no good for year after year after year, you're like, damn, I'm not wasting my summertime with this.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. I think that's fair.
Right.
I'll say that.
The other two sports, forget it. I'm in, with both feet, nonstop, good or bad.
Yes, and I get it. And we'll have the Sixers tonight against another undefeated team in the NBA. We have the Eagles really before their bye with a huge win. The line's already moved a couple of points. I imagine by kickoff it might even move a little more. But on top of that, it's kind of like we've become 2.5.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Oh, it is not 4 for 4?
No, because I think, I don't want to use that term because it will be assumed I'm talking about somebody specific, and I'm not. I love that person. So I think the mentality of people, nobody is anything like that. Nobody's brain works more than 2 for 2 in anything. Mm-hmm. Look at it. We've got two parties. It's black and white. It's left or right. Everything is simply two options.
Up or down.
Up or down. Yes. Fast or slow. Right. Hard or smooth. Everything is just based down to two options.
On or off.
Exactly.
Hey,
perfect.
This is good.
That's a better one.
Wow.
On, off. That's it. Yes, so we're really at just that 2.
Follow, unfollow.
And every now and again we get bored, right? Like or retweet.
Right.
Exactly. And every now and again we get bored, and it happens every now and again, and we get this Joe Girardi infusion into our life, and we get the Gabe Kapler nonsense in our life, and we talk about it. But I think, for the most part, it's okay. We've got 2 really good, enjoyable, fun teams in front of us. I don't think we need to separate and siphon off energy just to validate that there's another team.
No, I totally agree with you. Once that team decides that they want my attention, then they'll get it. Okay? Seriously.
That's my favorite part of your answer, which is that they just don't deserve it.
They don't want it. They don't deserve it. They ain't going to get it. That's the way it is.
Absolutely. I love it. At Harry Mays TU, at Shander Show. So I assume you didn't watch any of that last night, right?
No, I was watching Game 6.
Now, I'll tell you, Game 6 was interesting.
Game 6 was great
This
on a lot of levels.
Yeah, even from Kate Upton weighing in. And Justin Verlander's just timed implosion. You knew it was going to happen at some point.
I know.
I don't even know. Like, just look at it.
It's remarkable.
You were the first person to jump in. I think I even got on maybe like a couple of favorable points higher just because of my app being different. But when we first started talking about this, you jumped on. I think you had him at plus 180, right?
At 160.
160.
I jumped in around 2:30 yesterday when I got home. The app worked. It didn't work while I was here on the show.
160 for the series, I'm saying.
No, yeah, that was a week or two ago.
No, but I'm saying as far as when we first
started talking about yesterday.
Yes, but I was leading up to saying that you were the first guy on the show and really, around me jumping on this thing saying, no, Nationals, they go up 2-0. I jumped on because of you.
Yeah.
And then you start to, make some things up in those 3 games in which they get lit up at home. Last night, Harry, going into it, it felt not too obvious. Not too obvious, but it felt obvious. And it happened. Mm-hmm. Like every now and again, obvious stuff that you look at it before a game actually happens.
Yeah, there's sometimes the stuff does come true. Like you're sitting there saying, I could get Steven Strasburg at plus 160? Are you serious? Like, I got to take that.
And you got tonight?
It's only 120, I think, what I got was Scherzer.
You're getting plus odds on this thing.
Right, well, on 2 of the best pitchers in the sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to see how – and, again, it's Game 7, so anything can happen. You've got a good – assuming Max Scherzer is healthy.
Well, he is. He was pitching last night in the bullpen.
They warmed him up.
Yeah,
but I don't know if they would have gone to him.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think they got Strasburg out of there after 8 1/3 to try to maybe save, 12, 15 pitches that they might need out of him tonight. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, tonight's all hands on deck. We love that cliche, but it's so true. You're going to get Scherzer, you're going to get Corbin, you're going to get Anibal Sanchez. They're all ready to go tonight.
Which helps.
And a rested bullpen.
Correct. Because Strasburg pitched
only had
so
Doolittle
well.
had to get 2 outs last night.
That's amazing.
What a game.
I didn't think Strasburg would go that deep into the game.
Yeah. Well, especially after you saw the first inning. You know what saved the game is the pitching coach. The pitching coach, I don't even know his name, for the Nationals, noticed that Strasburg was tipping his pitches.
Yeah.
And that's why Bregman jumped all over that thing and launched it. And in between innings, he said, you're tipping your pitches. So Strasburg started to do something different with his glove. Like he was like shaking his glove, and therefore they couldn't pick up what pitch was coming. Saved the game for him.
Unbelievable.
Or the series would be over.
Right. That's a great call right there.
Yeah.
And you realize that, granted, nobody's going to get yanked in the first inning for giving up a couple of runs, but you realize the difference in which how easy it was for Strasburg to settle down.
Yeah.
Whereas Verlander, even with the lead, and again, we talked about this before the show. I showed you, Nats jumped to plus 300 when they were down 2-1 in the first 3 innings.
Yeah, and you got it, right?
Yeah, because I didn't understand how people were still betting against the Nats, knowing Verlander with the lead is safe. Mm-hmm. That to me didn't make sense. And again, this isn't some deep analytical examination of the world of baseball. This is as surface as it gets, Harry.
Right.
The guy stinks as you get deeper into the postseason.
It's unbelievable. Now, everybody knows he's going to the Hall of Fame, and rightly so, but he's 0-6 in 7 appearances in the World Series thus far with a 5.68 ERA. Which is just it's brutal. Mind-boggling to me.
It's brutal, man.
Maybe we can get Kate Upton to sit in row 2 tonight and get our puppies out. And shake Scherzer to his core.
Do you think she would get banned? I mean, the other two women got banned.
Yeah, but they're not as ample.
Nor do they
not as ample.
Well, they don't also have enough connections.
Right.
Like Verlander might call in a favor.
Yeah.
To Rob
the commissioner.
Manfred. Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, commish.
Absolutely. I'm just saying. It's a good point.
Right.
What do you think it would take to get him to do that?
I don't.
Verlander to sign off.
I don't think there's a price.
A flashing. Well, here's the thing. Kate Upton.
Yeah.
She probably makes. I'm gonna guess that she's with the Giselle Brady type relationship where she's pulling in her own, right? Kate Upton is making a lot of money, right?
I would think so.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's why she's not risking that by any means. I will say this, though, that if there were somebody connected to a baseball player to take up that role, that's not bad to see that.
No, you're right. Now, the pitching coach's name is Paul Menhart, who noticed the pitch tipping. And I'll tell you, this Astros team, they have picked up on this with multiple pitchers throughout, the playoffs. They are incredible at noticing tells. Somebody in there, I don't know if it's one person or just them as a collective group.
Well, it's interesting, though. Do you think that they have somebody specifically there?
I don't know.
And who would that be? It would have to be a former player,
Is there a camera somewhere in that dome that is focused in on the pitching mound only, with a guy sitting in a bunker somewhere in the bowels of the stadium, noticing, just watching all the body movements?
Now, who would you want there, though? You would want... My guess is you would want a former player, right?
Some
like
former
a catcher or pitcher.
Yeah, right.
Being able to just see tendencies and the grip of the ball, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They're just really good at it.
Can you imagine?
They're kind of like the Patriots in a lot of ways, where they just see things that other teams don't see. They they push the envelope, like the Patriots do.
Remember, there was that whole thing about the guy who was stealing analytics. Or did they steal it from Houston?
I think that was between St. Louis and Houston.
Right.
I forget which way it went.
I think the guy in St. Louis was stealing it from. I think they were.
But wasn't he formerly in Houston and he went to St. Louis and then stole from?
Now, who does that sound like?
Oh, that's
Eric Mancini.
Exactly.
Right. The guy probably got caught setting up cameras on his own end and figured, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dime out the big man out there.
Right.
That's amazing. 609-403-0973. Now, we do have the Sixers tonight against the Wolves. We'll be joined by Kevin Kincaid at 1 o'clock. Bob is going to join us next week. Don't worry. Tony Bruno will be back crossing the streams with us at 1:30.
We think.
We believe. Correct. Now, there is something that really hit me to my core that I found out yesterday, to the point in which it involves the Shander household. Don't worry. I'm still engaged. All that.
Oh, boy.
The dog's fine. But something here happened to me. It regarding a television show. And it was hit so hard, Harry, that I was contemplating calling out sick today, which never happens for either one of us. It would take something catastrophic, like surgery. And even then, you had surgery and we're doing the show 2 hours later.
I had it yesterday.
Right,
too.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So my whole point of it is that that's how drastic of a situation it is in my household right now.
Okay.
Because I'm not with a cable company, right? I've cut the cord, so I'm using one of these apps that provides me about 40, 45 channels a month.
Okay.
So do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
No.
Think about what show that I would no longer have access to.
King of Queens.
Yes. I believe TBS has removed it from their program.
Good.
Now, let me tell you something. You want to see ornery. You want to see upset. This is going to be like me without smoking for a week or something.
I mean, why don't you just...
I'm already sweating out of anger.
Don't they have it in DVD form that you can preserve it forever and just... Because I have all the Seinfeld DVDs, right?
No, these apps all run like Hulu. I have Hulu as well. So Hulu, but I only have like the low end, like $10 a month.
Just go to Best Buy and get all the seasons on disc, and then you have them forever.
I don't have a DVD. The only DVD player
buy a DVD player, a Blu-ray player. They're a dime a dozen.
I don't think you can get those anymore at Best Buy. Are you sure?
Well, I don't know about Best Buy, but I got 2 last year.
So I now have to go on Amazon.
No, not
and
Amazon.
buy
Ed's TV. My buddy up there at Ed's TV.
Where's that?
It's in Colmar.
Okay.
Right up 309.
And he's going to have the King of Queens.
No, he'll have a Blu-ray player.
Okay.
He doesn't sell DVDs.
I need a guy who's ready to go with the King of Queens box set.
I'm sure somebody can oblige.
That's probably on Amazon.
Yeah, probably.
Because at this point, I'm pretty upset that I can't find this show anywhere.
Jeez.
All right? I mean, it really devastated me.
Wow. Well, that's more interesting than the NFL trade deadline ended up being yesterday.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Howie gave me nothing. Howie gave me absolutely nothing, I was watching stuff.
Not even just Howie. The NFL. All we got was Aqib Talib to the Dolphins.
Which is essentially a salary dump.
Well,
the guy's hurt.
Right, Dolphins have a hurt cornerback, too. And
Aqib Talib's not even healthy.
Yeah, he's not healthy either. It was for a 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick? I don't even know. But
it was terrible.
What a bust. The biggest thing that happened was Jamal Adams getting all bent at Joe Douglas, thinking that he turned his back on him.
Well, according to Adams, Douglas said, don't worry, you're not going to get traded.
Well, right, he didn't get traded.
Right, but then there were reports out there that they were shopping
No, they weren't shopping him. Teams were calling about him. There's a big difference between shopping a player and taking a phone call. Joe Douglas's job.
But wasn't the report that they were shopping?
Well, if that's the case, that's erroneous because Joe Douglas was not shopping him. Dallas called. And if Dallas calls and says, hey, we'll give you a first-round pick and a second-round pick or whatever the case may be, you got to listen to that. That's his job.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's not shade. Hey, do you want Jamal Adams? We'd like to get rid of him. That's shopping a guy. What would you give us for Jamal Adams?
Right, and I think that there were multiple people out there confusing the situation, saying at one point, or at least some of those people saying yesterday, that that they were shopping him, that they were looking to trade.
Well, it's the same thing with
Le'Veon
Bell.
Right. And again, it's open for interpretation, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, Jamal Adams, that's the problem with these players have Twitter accounts. Like, they have to vent their emotions on Twitter.
No, I heard audio this morning from him.
Well, he tweeted it as well. That's where I saw it.
No, but I mean, listen, I think it was whoever he was talking to, he was talking. Like, it wasn't a Twitter video you're talking about,
no,
right?
he tweeted a tweet. So a reporter probably went to him then and said, hey, what do you think?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah. That's probably what happened.
Because I heard the audio this morning, that's all.
You don't run the team, Jamal.
No, but
this is the business.
But here's the thing, like, if you're on it, but why would you trade? Joe Douglas is an idiot if he trades Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell.
Well, not if he gets 2 first-round picks for one of them.
I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, you are
Le'Veon Bell, especially.
No, I disagree. You've got Sam Darnold right now on a rookie deal,
and he's a mess.
Well, then you need to reset with a quarterback.
Well,
that's you do that before you move Jamal Adams and Le'Veon Bell. You move on from Sam Darnold. Because the new guy is going to need Le'Veon Bell and Jamal Adams on that team.
Yeah.
That's my point. Like, listen, I get what you're saying about a personal standpoint, Jamal Adams versus Joe Douglas, but I think from a business standpoint, anybody looking to trade Le'Veon Bell and Jamal Adams from that team is an idiot.
And who knows?
Unless you're moving on from Darnold, is my point.
Who knows where these leaks came from, too. That might have been Dallas. You're just putting it out there that, we're trying to get Jamal Adams. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Is maybe Jamal got duped,
right?
That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now I'm reading this from Elliot Troll Parks Elliot Troll Parks. Where's yesterday's podcast outrage?
To who?
To us.
Why?
I don't know.
Elliot Troll Parks is an actual Twitter feed.
Yes.
So what is the at?
It's at Elliot Troll Parks. I'm not reading the other.
So it's the same as the name.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that account existed.
Correct. Now, here's the thing. I'm sure that there was some technical difficulty, so just give us a second. My point in bringing this up is not to out anybody here. It's just to say for people listening that are wondering what happened, we'll make sure we'll get it up. But I'll say this. If, in fact, you can't find the audio podcast, it may not be up that day or it may take a couple of days to come up. Everything is archived on video. So you can go to @HarryMaysTU and see his archived Periscope feed.
Some of them I delete.
Well, okay,
because I don't need all that up there.
That's fine. You can delete whatever you want.
But yesterday's is still up.
Sure, but it's also up on my Facebook page. It's also up on our YouTube page, Derailed Show, and it's also up on our Mays and Eytan Twitch channel.
Wow.
So
it's a lot of places.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you can't get for whatever reason, if our audio isn't up there the day after or that day, then you can go to 4 different video platforms: Derailed YouTube, @HarryMaysTU on Twitter, Eytan Shander on Facebook, Mays and Eytan on Twitch. Pardon me.
Twitch.
That's
man,
an easy way to get around if something happens technical, because not everything is smooth on the technical stuff. It happens every now and again. 609-403-0973 is the text board. We'll hit that if you're ready.
Let's do it.
All right. Did you have anything? Oh, well, you know what? Let's get Glenn and EHT up first, and then we'll do that. Yo, Glenn.
Yo, fellas, what's going on?
What's up?
Loving the Nats. I love Strasburg. I remember watching him when he made his debut. I've always been a fan of him, and it's nice to see him get the opportunity and make it happen. Then you got Verlander. It's just amazing. Him and Kershaw, their postseason woes to such great names. It's just amazing. but it won't affect them long. They're still great pitchers, right? But it's that knocking the postseason, knock them down just a tick.
Yeah,
how does that work?
It's that old
right?
argument, Glenn, where it's like if you have one game to win, who are you giving the ball to? Remember that? You'd always say that about Randy Johnson back in the day, maybe Kurt Schilling at one point. It's Strasburg now. He's the guy. Or Garrett. Garrett Cole hasn't done it for long enough, though, to me. His body of work.
Yeah, I'm a Strasburg fan. I love that. Strasburg. Real quick, too. Is there a way I can just get on Ben Simmons real quick?
Yep.
How he's the same player. Is this guy, when we talk about evolving his game, he was talking in an interview one day. He said something about the way his game's evolved. In which way have you seen it evolve? Have you seen something new?
Well, as far as evolving into shooting jump shots when he's open, no.
Yeah, how can they run a half-court offense with him? You can't run a half-court offense with him standing around the outside. He's almost like he's a negative on the team when it comes to that. He clogs the lane. He has to change. He has to be able to just pop a corner jumper. That's all. No threes.
He passed a couple up the other night.
Yeah, okay.
In Atlanta.
Hold on a second. And listen, man, I appreciate it because we're up on it in a minute. But when I look back at the reason why they would have lost to Atlanta, it's not because Ben Simmons wasn't taking more jump shots.
No.
The team needs to make shots.
No, he's talking specifically about his involvement, because people are saying that he's evolved his game, that he was going to be working this whole summer, and they're seeing it. I'm not. To me, he looks like the same guy as last year. Yeah, that's his point.
And again, these things, I don't know where you'll ever see a guy go through a game growth spurt like a physical growth spurt. Remember when you went away from 7th grade in summertime
and you came back 4 inches taller?
Or somebody, like a girl or a guy would come back and it's like 6 foot all of a sudden. That doesn't happen with your game. I'm not saying Ben Simmons is not stagnant. But what I'm saying is, and this is the danger of looking at 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, preseason, a game against a team in China that nobody's even heard about in China, all this, right? You just have to look at this as
that team's been disbanded already,
seriously,
I think.
Yeah, I think it was just assembled for that game.
Yeah, right.
You have to look at this as a stage, like a growth process. And I know people don't like the P word here anymore, but my goodness, Joel Embiid, look at how his game has evolved. There was everything there, though, in his game. All he's done is basically get better.
Improve all those areas,
exactly.
yeah.
And Ben Simmons has improved a lot. Look, I think what happens, I'll just leave it at this, Harry. I don't want to keep going into it. I'll say, I think what happens is when we focus so much on this jump shot and this issue of needing to pull, which, again, we would all like to see, it just takes away from things he does at an all-NBA level.
Oh, I know.
Defend.
Yeah, defend.
But create.
The thing is, though, that's what we keep hearing about a lot of these players on the Sixers. Oh, but he's a great defender. Oh, but he's a great defender. There's going to come a time in a playoff series where they're going to need to make shots, and they're going to need to make a lot of them from beyond the arc. Right. In order to advance to where we want them to. So I think the fan base gets tired of hearing, oh, well, this Thibault, he's a hell of a defender. Yeah, but can he shoot? You know what I mean? There's so many of these guys that they draft that are like, well, he's a good defender. Can he make a freaking shot?
Yeah, you look at Zaire Smith.
Zaire Smith's another one. Right. Yeah.
No,
you know what I mean?
I get it. I totally understand. And I think Thibault is going to be a good defender in this league.
Yeah.
It's tough. Again, I'm not going to put any pressure on him and say that, he's going to turn into this or turn into that. He's in a great system right now that's going to allow him to play the lanes and allow him to take some risks. When you have
step it up, take a risk.
Absolutely. You've got to, when you're on the floor with Embiid, you've got a rim protector. When he's off the floor, they don't really have a rim protector. No. So we'll see how that plays, but that forces a guy like Thibault or anybody else, Richardson on the wing, to play
It makes
tighter.
Playing wing defense a lot more fun. You can take risks when you got the big guys back there, right?
Yes, you can jump passes exactly right. You can double. There are things, freedom you have out there. How about this, too, before we break? Jimmy Butler. On his debut.
How about that?
Comes out, and they turned the Hawks into last year's Hawks team.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I saw that.
He came out, and fresh off of the birth of his daughter, his Heat debut. Now, Tyler Hero had himself a game, don't get me wrong, but it was kind of cool to see that.